In the quiet hum of a small town, there lived a young carpenter named Hassan. He was skilled with his hands, but his heart was heavy with discontent. Every splinter of wood, every creak of a floorboard seemed to echo his complaints. "This house is too small," he sighed to his wife. "My income is a mere trickle, and our struggles are an endless river." Hassan saw his life not as a gift, but as a burden, a tangled mess of problems with no end in sight. He looked at the grander houses in the distance and felt a bitter sting of envy, blind to the warmth and love that filled his own humble home. One night, after a particularly trying day, Hassan fell into a deep troubled sleep. A dream, vivid and terrifying, took hold of him. In this dream, a fierce storm descended upon his town. Winds howled like mournful spirits, and rain lashed down with relentless fury. He watched in horror as the roof of his small home was torn away, his tools scattered and lost, his workshop reduced to a pile of soaked, splintered wood. The world he knew was collapsing around him. But the nightmare didn't stop there. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light engulfed him, and then darkness, a profound, impenetrable darkness. He tried to open his eyes to see, to find his way, but there was nothing. He had lost his sight. He stumbled through the blackness, calling out for his wife, for his children, but his voice was swallowed by the roaring wind. He was alone, without a home, without his craft, without the very light of his eyes. A wave of pure, unadulterated terror washed over him. Everything he had, everything he was, had been stripped away in an instant. The feeling of loss was so absolute, so suffocating, that a cry of anguish tore from his throat. And with that cry, Hassan's eyes shot open. He was in his bed. The familiar pattern of the morning sun streamed through his window, painting golden stripes on the wall. He could hear the gentle rhythmic breathing of his wife beside him. From the next room, the faint sound of his children stirring, a soft giggle, a whispered secret, reached his ears. He sat bolt upright, his heart pounding in his chest. It was a dream. Just a dream. He looked at his hands, turning them over and over. They were there, strong and capable. He looked around the room, at the warm but sturdy furniture, at the pictures on the wall, at the sleeping form of the woman he loved. A profound sense of relief, so powerful it almost brought him to his knees, flooded his entire being. In that moment, the dream's darkness illuminated a truth he had long ignored. He wasn't destitute. He wasn't alone. He got out of bed and walked to the window, truly seeing his world for the first time. He saw the gentle morning light, a blessing. He felt the solid floor beneath his feet, a blessing. He smelled the aroma of bread being baked nearby, a blessing. His family, his health, the food on his table, the peace of his small town blessings, all of them. They were like countless stars in his sky that he had never bothered to look up and see. That day, something shifted within Hassan. The constant murmur of complaint in his mind fell silent, replaced by a new, quiet hum of gratitude. As he picked up his tools, he didn't feel the weight of a burden, but the potential of a gift. He thanked Allah for the strength in his arms and the skill in his hands. Before eating his simple breakfast, he paused and offered a heartfelt thanks for the food that would nourish him. When his children ran to hug him, he held them close and thanked Allah for the immeasurable joy they brought into his life. This wasn't a one-time event. It became his daily practice. Every morning, he would consciously list the things he was thankful for. "Thank you for my sight," he would whisper. "Thank you for my family. Thank you for this home." This simple act began to rewire his entire perspective. The world hadn't changed, but his way of seeing it had been completely transformed. The small house no longer felt like a cage, but a cozy sanctuary. His work was no longer a struggle for survival, but an opportunity to create and serve. And as Hassan's inner world changed, his outer world began to follow. Customers started noticing a new light in his eyes, a genuine warmth in his smile. His work, always good, now had an added touch of passion and care. He wasn't just building furniture. He was building relationships. People felt his positive energy. They trusted him more. Word of the cheerful, grateful carpenter spread, and soon his small business began to grow. More orders came in, his income steadied, and slowly but surely he was able to make improvements to his home. But the real change, the most profound transformation, was the happiness he felt. It was a deep, quiet contentment that didn't depend on how much money was in his pocket or how big his house was. It came from within, from the simple, powerful act of recognizing and appreciating the blessings that were already there. He had found a treasure not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what he already possessed. Hassan's story teaches us a beautiful lesson. Gratitude is like a lens. It doesn't change the scenery, but it changes how you see it. It can turn a simple meal into a feast, a small house into a castle, and an ordinary life into a beautiful adventure. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present, from scarcity to abundance. So take a moment today, right now. Look around you. What are the blessings you might have overlooked? Your health, your family, the roof over your head, the very air you breathe. True happiness isn't about getting what you want. It's about wanting what you have. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this time with me. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel for more content that aims to inspire and uplift. Your support means the world. Until next time, stay grateful.